These are things I would do differently if I was just now starting out as an entrepreneur and trying to leverage the internet and build a following. I'm Casey versus the internet. I've been a digital marketer now for 15 years, working with small mom and pops as well as 9-figure enterprises, helping them build their audience online. Number one, understanding your target audience is a big deal. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of content creators make the mistake of making content and not knowing exactly who their audience is. This is a big misconception because a lot of people feel like, hey, I'm going to make stuff that I like and everybody else will like it too. And that's not the way the world works. The world is very jaded. You have to make stuff that resonate with your audience as well as pique their interest. You have to create things that are shareable, interesting, as well as informed. You have to define your ideal customer profile. You can use tools on the internet like Google Analytics. You can use things like Google Trends, Social Blade, all types of social media insight, because understanding your audience helps you make content that resonate best with, as well as grows your following, your likes, your comments, your shares online. The second thing is building a strong brand identity. The importance of building a memorable logo, color scheme that resonates with people, as well as a perception that is interesting, that is engaging, that is welcoming, essentially just crafting a brand story. And a lot of entrepreneurs and content creators make the mistake of not doing these things and only focusing on making money online without actually providing value in the process. The third thing I would do is build a professional website. My history of being a web developer over these last 15 years, I've been an SEO, search engine optimization director for organizations, for online e-commerce brands, in-house web developer as well. So I function as an SEO web developer, an SEO developer. I've also been the in-house digital marketing and marketing managers. I've learned that having a professional website that best articulates who you are is a significant component to growing online. And this website should have your CTAs. It should be a catch-all of a link tree. A lot of people tend to just focus on the link tree and be like, hey, I'm going to promote my socials. But what happens when these socials kick you off their platform and you no longer have your audience? Out of luck at that point. So the best thing to do is building your brand on your own profile, on your own website, collecting that information, collecting that data, that CTA information, those emails, those phone numbers, and to better remarket to these people puts you in a position of power as opposed to being dependent on platforms that could kick you off it at any point in time just because they may not like what you're doing. The fourth thing is search engine optimization. A lot of folks are saying, hey, SEO is dead, SEO is over. I beg to differ, because SEO has rebranded itself and built itself in different platforms. Like for instance, if you take TikTok and its creator insights has a full spectrum of tools that are very similar to standard SEO tools. And an important aspect of that, TikTok has a search-based algorithm that's baked into it that enables users to find content, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, which also has a big search organic component attached to it. So understanding SEO is something I would do if I'm at least the principles of it. If I was just starting out as an entrepreneur, even though I have my experience of being, a digital marketer, SEO developer for the last 15 years, if I was just starting out, I'll try to have a coach or a consultant that I can rely on to help me navigate this space, because a lot of times, a lot of entrepreneurs find themselves in difficult situations when trying to grow their audience online. And the fifth thing I would do is develop a strong content marketing strategy. Now, here's the thing about that. Developing an online content marketing strategy could be a little tricky thing, because making sure you're making the type of content that is evergreen is a huge component to trying to drive organic search traffic to your content. So having a content system in place where you're constantly pumping out ideas or coming up with useful ways to deliver this audience some useful content is going to be a huge component to what you're trying to do. And you have to do this over a consistent basis, because a lot of people tend to just worry about, how it looks, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to say, and not really necessarily get to the nuts and bolts of a whole system of content that you can produce content at a rapid pace, consistent pace, and grow in that process. The number 6 thing I would do is develop a strong email presence. A lot of people underutilize email or they spam it. And what we want to have happen here is people develop healthy habits with using email, because you got to think about it. When you're using email, spam filters that are baked into platforms like Gmail, Yahoo, etc., totally understand that people are gonna try to send promotional and useful content, so they have a system in place, an algorithm that can properly repurpose this information. So that's why you want to have a CTA, a call to action, built into your website, so you can have people sign up for your website, which gives you a higher probability of people sticking around and opening your emails, and gives you a higher success rate. Another thing that folks want to keep in mind is paid advertising. Paid advertising is pretty much the future, let's be honest. Because right now, a lot of the platforms that are notorious for having organic, natural growth are pushing a lot of new users, a lot of content creators towards the paid advertising route, because they're trying to take away the organic traffic. They don't want so many people going viral. They don't want so many pieces of content just totally dominating their search space, because they want to make money off it. These platforms are businesses. Google, for one, has showed us historically, like if you take my video where I talk about digital marketers and entrepreneurs, I go into detail about how Google is pushing a lot of their organic traffic towards the bottom and pushing up a lot of their ads. And they're going to have issues going forward, because a lot of content creators are shifting away from Google and using other platforms like ChatGPT, as well as Bing and Copilot, in order to get their search queries answered. So platforms like that are going to shift away, and that still creates a deficit for these large language models to grab data from websites in order to populate queries within these bots. So they're going to need to pull information from websites. That's not going away, but however, how people use Google will eventually shift. Another thing I will put out there, since a lot of you all are business owners and entrepreneurs and content creators and that whole bucket of just awesome people, what I would recommend to you is having a CRM, customer relationship management software, that you can stay in tune with your users. They can stay in tune with you. They can see what's going on with you. And at the same time, it can properly send them emails. Hey, happy birthday, Jim. Hey, Megan, we have a new special going on our website. Or just simply drop in on a text message and say some awesome stuff to a huge amount of people. And you can do it systematically by using CRM platforms. So if I was just starting out, I would recommend people tap in with that, because when I was getting started, I was manually messaging everybody and doing all these different things, trying to reach folks, when really you can mass reach folks. Now on this channel, when it comes to comments, I'm actively responding to every comment, every kind of response, and you don't want to automate that process. You want to automate processes when it comes to emails, when it comes to notifications and sales and things like that, because as you build your newsletter, as you build your CTA list, having a strong CRM is something I would recommend to someone that's just starting out as an entrepreneur and looking to get their feet wet in the business, because a lot of times entrepreneurs miss this step and it wind up kicking them in the butt later down the road.